Hey guys, so today was quite an interesting day. I mentioned on Friday that I was pretty bearish going into the weekend, mostly because of this rejection up here, and we finally stopped closing new highs. So we did end up getting a decently red day today, about a 0.5% down. But again, this once again became a buy the dip market. So we had the really nice morning sell off here. I mean, it was super aggressive, pretty impressive. This was a nice, $1.50, $1.70 drop. That doesn't happen too often. So that was really impressive. However, then what happens? Of course, it becomes a buy the dip market. So in this time period right here, this is exactly what we have seen time and time again. Pretty much on SPY, where it looks like we are getting a continuation to the downside, and then all of a sudden it comes and boom, we start pumping. So all these rejections to the upside and rejecting the AEMA, and then finally we break through, breakout, and then pretty much after about 45 minutes of movement, it was just a disaster chop fest. So looking at today, a couple things to note. First thing to note is that we did put in a new, or did not put in a new supply or a demand. I did not update my supply from Friday, so I will put that in here for us real quick. So we do have a supply off this candle from Thursday. So basically what I'm seeing here is that we attempted a breakout, we failed, came down. Now remember, we are in extreme bull momentum on the daily and the weekly. So when we have that, we should expect the daily AEMA to be support. So we rejected, we come down, now we're finding a test off of here. But not only that, but what did we do is we back tested this 436.95 daily demand that was established back on June 14th, which was also a previous resistance from the 13th that we turned into support. We just back tested that support and we held it. So that's pretty bullish. One, making a supply, bouncing off of demand, and bouncing off the AEMA. So I am looking for a breakout tomorrow, and we also do have just a slight about 60-cent unfilled gap here. So really our first target should be 439.4, but I do think we could be up in the 440 to 442 range tomorrow. However, one interesting thing is that Jay Powell does speak tomorrow, of course. So he is testifying in front of, I guess, the House Judiciary Committee. So some interesting facts about this meeting. The last 11 times that we have had Jay Powell speak to the House Committee, SPY has opened 6 out of 11 times green, but it has closed 4 out of 11 times green. So it's interesting to note that most of the time it opens green, but actually closes lower than it opened. On QQQ, we actually have opened 7 times green, but only closed 4 of those times green. So SPY has about a 0.54% plus or minus average move up on these days, and QQQ has more about a 0.59% plus or minus move up. So what's really interesting is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 out of the last 6 times QQQ has opened green. I'm just running some quick numbers real quick for you guys. And it's averaging in that time period about a 0.54% gap up. On SPY, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 out of the last 6 times has resulted in a green open. And let's see what we are averaging there. So we're averaging closer to about a 0.49% plus or minus move up. So overall, we should expect about a 0.5% move overnight is what I'm basing. So if we were to get that about 0.5% gap up, basically we should open about where we closed on Friday, which is about 439.5 on SPY. So that should be our target. So that'll be about right here at that resistance line. So one thing to note here is we did break this black bull channel. This one dated back to May 24th. However, if you get rid of this so you can kind of see a little more clearly here and we zoom out just a little bit more, you can see that we are actually in a red bull channel now, and this one actually dates back to May 11th. So we did break a more short-term bull channel, but we still remain in the longer term bull channel. So keep an eye on that for sure as we go forward. Going over to futures, so same thing here. It was we came up, we rejected, didn't quite get the double top, but did come back down. And now we did back test this resistance or the support line that used to be resistance at 44.17. We really bounced pretty nicely off of it, which we also did here on the 15th. So holding 44.35 at close, we could and should really look for a pretty nice double bottom here. And my target on futures realistically is 44.61 to 44.71. We also have a nice 8 EMA support test. We did also break our black bull channel here, which this one dates back to May 31st. However, what do you see? We are still in a red bull channel. And you can even say, if we have this resistance line right here on these two, we'll make this one blue so you guys can see that differently. But you could even say that until we break through this blue one, which this would date back all the way to about May 15th, which that correlates with that SPY one, that we are still in a bull channel here. So overall, I would say we are still pretty bullish, and I remain bullish myself. Again, and I've said this, until really we break the 50 EMA and close under that, I remain longer term bullish. So the VIX continues to be just, really just a pain in my butt. Just does not really want to do what we would expect it to do. So over the last year, 2022, trading in 2022, I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I can remember SPY and the VIX closing in the same direction. So what I mean by that is today the VIX closed down 2.26% and SPY also closed down 5.52%. Now, like I said, in 2022, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that has happened and that I can remember, because obviously those stand out where that's not the normal. That's not how it generally works. However, this is our fourth time in the last 6 trading days that SPY and the VIX have closed in the same direction. So that's, that just shows you how imbalanced, how off, how odd these last, I would say, 2 weeks of trading have been. Nothing really makes sense. So it doesn't really add up that we have a huge drop on the VIX and SPY also drops. It also didn't add up that VOLD, which for those who don't know what VOLD is, and I've talked about it before, but VOLD is the up and down volume of the NYSE. So basically what that means is if VOLD is tracking upwards, in a trend upwards, there is generally more buying than there is selling happening. Now, I use that as a heavy part of my strategy, and I've had very high success with that because, in general, if there's more buying than selling, what's price going to do? It's going to go up. Now, however, the one thing that's been happening for now, probably about the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's becoming more frequent. It used to be like 1 day a week, maybe 2. Now it's like almost every day, it seems like. But we are getting time periods like today where VOLD is completely bearish, which means VOLD is saying there is far more selling than buying happening. So what are you thinking at that point is, you're thinking, why is SPY rising? Because you have this whole period right here where SPY rose. This was almost $3. I guess it was our range today. So about a $3 move up. However, the whole time we had VOLD negative. So does that make sense? Not really, because you would expect if Volt is negative that you're going to see a drop on SPY. So what I am seeing and guessing that is happening is that there are far more, like quantity wise, of sell orders on a daily basis now, meaning more people are selling. However, what's also happening is you're having stocks like Tesla that's up 5.34% today, and Nvidia was up 2.61% today. You're having far smaller or far less frequent but way larger buy orders come in. So you could disguise a bullishness by let's say if you had 2 sell orders, let's do it. Okay, let's say you had 10 sell orders for 1 million each. So you have negative 10 million, just as an example. However, then some other person comes in and let's say they have $5 million buy orders. So during that time period, you have 10 sell orders but 5 buy orders, so you're going to see a negative Volt because the buying is less than the selling. However, in all reality, there is far more buying happening because you have 25 million buying happening and 10 million selling happening. So that's a 15 million plus difference. So that's really, I kind of think what's happening a lot lately is that some of these individual tickers are just pumping so much on their own that there's such large orders going into that it's disguising all the other small orders, and it's really throwing the technicals off. Now the VIX, I really can't explain why the VIX would be down and SPY is down. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My guess would just have to be with the 0 DTEs and all that stuff. But looking at this here, we did come up and we did put this new supply in on the 15th. We actually had attempted for a very long time today to put in a new demand at 13.52. However, we did fail to do that. So what we see here is that we basically closed directly on the demand from June 14th. So with closing directly on this demand, you would expect this could be support that could bounce us. However, you also have to keep in mind, 1, the VIX is in extreme bear momentum. 2, we did reject, as you can see right here, off the previous supply of 14.46, and we are rejecting the daily 8 EMA and really the 20 EMA still, which means our momentum is to the downside. So more likely than not, what we are going to end up seeing here is we are going to end up seeing a push back to 13.53 support area. And honestly, more likely than not, we really could be looking at a move to this like 12.75 area. And if we do that, and the trend really supports it on both SPY upside and VIX downside, we could see a new 52-week low, not only level, but close. And really, it'd be like a 3-year low and level close. So once again, we survived FOMC. So what's there to be bearish about? Now, again, Jay Powell is speaking tomorrow. And he has a way of kind of riling things up the week after FOMC. And so that'll be really interesting to see what the markets react to him tomorrow. Take a look at QQQ here. So same thing, we did come down. We did put in this new supply up here. I need to update my chart. Sorry, I don't usually do the QQQ in here. But we did put in a new supply right here on the 15th. So we came down, we took out the lower supply, which is why you see it now here at 370.5. So what we did is we came down, we're bouncing off the daily 8 EMA support at 363.17. And in the same thing, it's a doji reversal candle up. So this day right here reminds me a lot. Now it's a different structure of, where is that? May 31st right here. So you can see we had a move up, we had a rejection, we came down, we found support, and then we move up. So with these levels right here, you can see when we did that, we put a new demand in and then pushed to a new supply. So we're kind of having this tendency here, and you can see it back here. We basically make a move up after putting a demand in. We test a level of the double supply, and generally what happens is we test an old supply, put a new supply in just below it, we come down, we make a new demand, and then we push up to the next supply, put a lower one in, come down, test support, and then we push up to the next level. So our next major level really is 377.24. So really what I'm looking for here with this back test of the June 14th resistance and confirming that as support, a doji bullish reversal candle to the upside. This is a nice morning doji star candle and a bounce off the daily AEMA, still holding our bull channel here. And remember, we are in extreme bull momentum on both the daily and weekly. I have to favor a move up to at least 370.5 to potentially 371.5. Now, again, if you remember, QQQ actually has a little bit stronger of an open on these days of J Powell speaking. And if we're looking for about that 0.6% move up, that's about a $2 open. So let's just say we closed at 367. That puts us about 369 for our opening. And you see that puts us just below this 370.3 or 370.3 supply level. So that is where I'm going to be targeting. Last little thing here is, wow, Bitcoin, I haven't looked at his chart since Friday. Bitcoin absolutely broke out. Massive move up today. Wow, Bitcoin had, I haven't even looked at it today. It's not something I watch in the normal, but big old 5% day up here completely breaks its downtrend that it's been in since April 14th peak right here. So that's actually super impressive, and I'm very interested to see where Bitcoin's going to go here. If it can close over 28,000 realistically, the next resistance is right here at 28.5K, and then there's a bigger move to be expected up to about 29.5K. So Bitcoin is looking very strong right now. All right, hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.